Joining us now exclusively in his first television interview since announcing he will not seek re-election, Texas Congressman Will Hurd. He serves alongside Congressman Radcliffe in the House Intelligence Committee. He is your fellow Texas Republican. What are your thoughts on him pulling his name for consideration for DNI?
Well, I would have to agree with the president. It's unfortunate that this happened this way. John Radcliffe is a friend. He's someone I've really gotten to know. He's analytical, he's thoughtful, he's smart. He's able to consume vast amounts of information, and that's something that a director of national intelligence is going to need in order to be successful. There's a number of unique challenges that our intelligence community is dealing with, and making sure that we have someone who is strong in that position is very important.
Well, so who are some of the names that you would like to see?
Well, that is up to the president to make that decision. I think if you have to go with an acting director in the meantime, I think Sue Gordon would be a good one. I've gotten to work with Sue Gordon in a number of her positions. She has vast experience in the intelligence community, and so I think that would be a pick worthy of consideration. And let me say this, John, you know I spent almost a decade as an undercover officer in the CIA, and I was in the CIA before 9/11, and when I was in the entity that helped prosecute the war in Afghanistan after 9/11, and if on September 12th you would have told me that there would not be another major attack on our homeland for 17 years, I would have said you were crazy at that time. And the reason there hasn't been is because the men and women in the intelligence community are still operating as if it's September 12th, because the men and women in our military are doing the same, as well law enforcement. And so whoever is going to be the next DNI, they're going to have a great opportunity to represent and work with some really amazing men and women.
You've announced that you're not going to be running again. More on that in a second. But when I heard that you wouldn't be taking a congressional seat in the next term, I thought you might be a potential nominee. And then today, the president at the White House said this.
I don't know Congressman Hurd, but I've heard he's done a good job. We differ on certain subjects, but I've heard he's actually done a good job. It's too bad he's leaving.
It doesn't sound like the president has you on the short list.
I haven't been asked, and I'm looking forward to continue my work and finishing up my term. And I'm excited about the opportunity to be helping candidates across the country and take a conservative message to communities that haven't heard it. And I represent a district that's larger than 26 states. It has 820 miles of the border, and it's a 71% Latino district. And I've been able to win in elections when people thought I wasn't going to be able to win. I've been able to take a conservative message to communities up and down my district, and I'm looking forward to helping candidates in other parts of the country do the same thing, because I think we have a real opportunity. Independents and many Democrats are concerned with the direction that the Democratic Party is going, and what I've learned in my time in Congress representing a 50-50 district is that most people believe the way we solve problems in the future is by empowering people, not empowering the government. They believe that families are going to move up the economic ladder through free markets, not socialism. And we have a real opportunity to take that message to communities that do not identify with the Republican Party. I'm looking forward to doing that.
Just a couple of weeks ago, you called yourself the future of the Republican Party, and then last night you announced you're not going to be running again. Why?
Well, like I said, I'm looking forward to going to communities and helping candidates across the country. I'm still a Republican. Just because I'm not in Congress doesn't change that. So I'm looking forward to continuing to make sure that the Republican Party looks like America. You know, I have the opportunity to represent the great state of Texas. And here in Texas, we have to make sure that the party looks like Texas. The two largest growing voting blocks in the country are minorities and young folks, and we need to be able to take a message to those communities. And I'm going to be able to do that outside the halls of Congress. I'm going to be able to do that continuing to work in foreign policy and technology, and I'm excited to run through the tape in my remaining months in Congress.
We noted you're the only African-American Republican in the House. Tim Scott, the only African-American senator. Is that the problem? Is the Republican Party not diverse enough?
I think the Republican Party can be more diverse. Tim and I shouldn't be the only African Americans in the Republican Party. I've met people throughout this country that come from all walks of life, and our message does resonate. We have some great candidates running and all across the country. There's a wonderful candidate named Wesley Hunt in Houston, Texas, that is served his country in the military, has a wonderful family, and I do believe that we can our message resonates with folks of all walks of life. I've proven that over my 3 terms in Congress, and I'm looking forward to taking those lessons and the tactics, techniques, and procedures that we've developed to take a conservative message to all walks of life. I'm looking forward to sharing that with folks around the country.
Well, you become the 9th Republican to announce you are not seeking re-election, and that is of some concern at the Republican National Congressional Committee. Will Hurd, Republican of Texas, thanks very much for joining us.
My pleasure.